What about the other candidate that, according to the subreddit, and as you mentioned, you've criticized it a little bit, Marianne Williamson? Do you think, what are the pros and cons of her as a candidate?
This is another area where many in my audience really are angry with me.
Yeah.
I don't find her candidacy super interesting. I'll tell you the pros and the cons as I see them. I do think that we have elected officials in the US, particularly presidents, from a really narrow range of backgrounds. So it's lawyers and sometimes business people, very, very often lawyers. I think we would benefit from a much greater diversity of backgrounds. And I once said, and that would include people from education, people from the science world, people with backgrounds maybe running nonprofits, et cetera. Now, Marianne Williamson did, I guess, at one point run some kind of small nonprofit, and some in my audience thought that credential alone would make me fall head over heels in love with the idea of a Marianne candidacy. I've interviewed for her. It's just not for me, is the way I like to say it. It's the background of the woo-woo type stuff is a bit off-putting to me. I understand that someone with literal Christian Bible beliefs that also I don't like, maybe I'm more willing to accept, as most of our presidents, of course, have had those views because they're otherwise more qualified. But some of the things that she says just strike me as, I just don't know. I'll give you an example. When she was on with Russell Brand, she said there's no such thing as clinical depression. It just means someone in a clinic told you you have depression. I don't believe that to be the case. I think we have an understanding there's two types of depression. There's like a genetic predisposition depression. There's like a acute something's happening in my life, temporary depression. Okay, when she was asked about it recently, she said, I didn't mean it. I was just trying to impress Russell Brand. I don't know if I'm more bothered by the thing she first said or by the fact that she wanted to impress Russell Brand, but it's just like, it's just really not for me. And I agree with her on we need to take the climate more seriously. We need to expand access to health. I'm with all of that stuff. Now, I want to say one other thing about this. Anybody who wants to run should run. I am not suggesting there should be an uncontested primary for Joe Biden. Absolutely.
So you think it should be contested?
Well, what I mean by contested is, so there's two parts to what we mean by contested. Will the DNC organize debates? And we'll get to that in a second. But should anybody who's on the left get out of the way because Joe Biden is president and he's running for re-election? Absolutely not. The question about should there be debates, I would like there to be debates. The DNC pretty clearly isn't going to organize them. I think if you did them, you would have to say, at what polling level do you qualify? And I don't know exactly where you put that number, but I think it would be a great thing to put Joe Biden on a stage with, if you can get, 6%, 8%? I'm not really sure what the number would be. I'm totally all for that.